Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Abby. I'm with Fitness is Medicine. We're going to keep things rolling here and with a great full body workout you can do in your home. Today we're just going to use a tube or a band, a set of dumbbells, and a fit ball. So if you don't have a fit ball, you can do those on the floor. Generally you have a tube or a band laying around from some physical therapy. And if you don't have dumbbells, you can use anything around your house. You can use a bucket full of water, you can use water jugs, water bottles, things like that. So we're going to get started today with rows using a tube or a band. You can use either one just for some resistance. So what I want you to do is have your band or tube about chest height away from you. Remember to always come into these workouts warmed up and ready to go. And then we're going to start with this row. So about chest height. We're going to bend your knees and bend your hips just a little, not a full squat. I like to call this a good athletic stance. Abs tight, ready to move. Okay, so we're going to pull this band straight back, driving your elbows straight back towards the other side of the room, squeezing your shoulder blades like you're squeezing a pencil between those shoulder blades, and breathing. So take a breath before you start. Breathe out as you go. Now notice that I'm also going slowly both directions. And then stopping here. I don't want to go all the way here and then all the way back. So keeping my torso nice and tall and keeping my abs tight. Controlling that both directions. 2 more. And 10. Good. All right. So if you do have more tubes or more bands, and you want to double that up to make it a little harder. Otherwise, you can wrap the band around itself a couple times to make it harder. There's lots of ways to sort of increase that resistance. Making it easier, stand closer, use a smaller band or tube, things like that. Okay, next we're going to do sit to stands. So I'm going to grab my chair here. I don't know where my chair is. Okay, I'm going to do it on my ball. Someone moved my chair. Okay. So I have my ball against the wall here. If you are going to do this with your ball, I would leave it against a wall. Otherwise, find a good sturdy chair, like your kitchen chair. You can do this off your coffee table, if you have a workout bench, things like that. So sit to stand. You want to sit back into that chair and then stand right back up. So we're going to go 10 times. Now, the reason I really like sit to stands is that it forces you into sort of the perfect squat. Now you want to go slowly both directions, keeping your chest up tall. If you need to, you can stagger your feet a little bit. 6. Really think about squeezing your glutes when you come up. Try to go as slowly as you can through these. Really control it, especially when you're sitting back down. If you can go really slowly before you sit, really controlling those muscles, don't plop. So this is all good ways to stay nice and strong. Getting in and out of a chair that is firm is an important thing to be able to do, but then getting in and out of things like your car or a sofa or a really soft chair can be really challenging. And so you want to work on it whenever you can. All right, I think that's 10. All right, sit to stands. Okay, now we're going to grab a set of dumbbells and we're going to do biceps into a shoulder press. So I would just want you to stand with a good wide stance, nice and supported. Your abs are tight, your shoulders are down and back. We're going to curl up. And then we're going to press up like this. So I'm keeping the weights with my palms facing back here. So we're going to keep your weights, palms facing forward and then just facing back. So you're not going to be able to go up as high as normal, like if you were to turn this around and do a shoulder press like this. So you're going to keep it here nice and slowly. Kind of lift your elbows up by your ears. Breathing nice and slowly. Here comes Tubby Bear to help me out. Now, if you start to feel like you're going to do this to lift that weight. Grab a smaller weight. Or you could grab one of the weights that you're using, curl it up, press up like this. That would be another way to do it if you only have one set of dumbbells and they're maybe a little bit too heavy. Let's do one more. Keeping your torso nice and strong. And back down. Slowly, each direction. Okay, good. Now we're going to do some mountain climbers. So, I'm going to need Tubby. Come on, Tubby. Come on. Can you sit? Sit. Good boy. All right. So we're going to lower down into a plank on the floor. So your hands need to be directly beneath your shoulders, and then you're up on your toes like this. So we're going to do mountain climbers. You're going to drive your knee between your elbow. Don't put your toe down. 3, keeping your head with your chin tucked, not like this. So you want to keep your head all in line with the rest of your spine. Keep breathing. And 10 and 10. Good. Lower down. You can sit back in child's pose and stretch out those shoulders if that feels good to you. Now we're going to stand back up. Take your time standing up. Remember, after you've been on the floor and maybe putting a lot of pressure in your head with those mountain climbers, come to standing slowly. So practice that good floor to stand with good form and nice and slowly. Okay, now we're going to do a single leg stance. I'm going to move my ball here. I want to challenge you to do this 2 different ways. So if you can stand on one foot, this is where we're going to start. If you cannot stand on one foot, start in a tandem stance. If that is too much, do a staggered stance. And it might be different for each foot. Like one foot, maybe you just can't put all of your weight on, and that's okay. Put that foot behind, put the other foot in front. And then when we do the other foot, maybe you could try single leg stance. Again, if that doesn't work, we'll do a tandem stance. If a tandem stance is too much, we'll do a staggered stance. And if all of those are too much, just put your feet as close together as you can. Okay, now what I'm going to have you do in this single leg stance is stand, I'm going to turn my camera here, with your back to the wall. Or the other way to do this is right at your kitchen counter with your hands on your kitchen sink or counter. And then when we start the exercise, just lift up your hands, but keep them right above the sink or counter or wherever you're doing it so that you can just grab when you need to. I'm going to challenge you, stand not exactly against the wall, but there if you need it. So I want you to first look around. So we're going to look side to side. We're going to look up and down. Side to side, up and down. Now, if you are able to do that and it's not a big challenge and you want a little more challenge, stand on one foot or do whichever one you're doing here. Try closing your eyes. Now, before you close your eyes, make sure you are right against that wall and you can grab it, or you're right against that kitchen counter and your hands are just hovering above it so they can grab on. Now, if you can, try closing your eyes. This is going to make it much more difficult. So, like I said, do it standing against a wall like this, or with your hands right over the counter. Okay, now we're going to switch and do the other foot. Like I said, you can switch your tandem stance. You can switch, like maybe one foot you can stand on, one foot you can't. This is a really big challenge. So first we're going to start by turning your head side to side and up and down. You can try to have a conversation with someone. That makes it harder. Up and down. Now, if all of that is going okay, try closing your eyes. Put your foot down if you need to. Grab that wall if you need to. talking and closing your eyes and trying to focus on the camera is the ultimate challenge here. So wherever you are with this, if you're at a narrowed stance or a tandem stance or a staggered stance, challenge yourself within your own abilities. So if you're standing in a staggered stance and that is all you can do, don't close your eyes. You can keep your hands near the counter. I'm just giving you a much more difficult scenario if you are doing these balance challenges and you want more. I've had a couple people say, okay, what else can I do? Because those are not very hard. So that's what you can do. Stand somewhere very safe, hands over the kitchen counter or your back to the wall, nowhere where you're just going to trip over something, and try closing your eyes. Or looking around. Looking around and changing your gaze is a much bigger challenge as well. So try those two things and see if that gives you a good challenge. If it's too much, you know, take away those things. There's a lot of different layers you can add on and then take off. And different days, you may have better balance than others. So try those on your really good balance days, back off of them on your bad balance days. Okay, we're gonna end with abs on the ball. So sit up on the edge of the ball. I'm gonna roll forward just a little. I'm gonna dig my heels in. And if you are on a surface of a floor where this is slippery, put your feet against the wall. You're not making this any more or less challenging. It's just a good way to stay stable without feeling like you're sliding. So we're gonna roll to the edge of the ball a little bit. First, put your hands on your thighs. You're keeping your torso nice and tall, head in line with the rest of your spine. If that feels okay, let's try it here with your hands on your shoulders. Now I'm going back, but then I'm not quite coming all the way up. I'm not coming up to here and releasing my abs. I'm going to come back, come almost all the way up, and then keep going. So nice and slowly. If you need more than this, you can put your hands behind your head. And then do 10, but if 10 doesn't give you the fatigue you're looking for in your abs, do more, do 15, do 20. And breathe all the way through. All right, good. So don't hold your breath with those. It makes it much harder. So you have to find a rhythm. Either breathe right at the top and then kind of slowly breathe out as you go. Breathe in one way, breathe out the other way. Find your rhythm and make it work. Okay, so repeat through those a couple more times. You can do some cardio in between to really ramp up your cardio and keep your heart rate up throughout the series, throughout the whole workout. And remember to cool down and stretch at the end. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful week, and I'll talk to you next time.